Shooterborn in Heaven is a task that most players, especially the new ones, seem to dread getting. Which I don't personally understand. Honestly, is one of my favorite tasks in Tarkov, but to each their own. In this and the next few videos, we're going to be going over each one of the 4 maps that you need to get Shooterborn in Heaven kills on, which are Reserve, Customs, Woods, and Shoreline, and hitting the most popular camping spots that people will sit to try to get these Shooterborn in Heaven kills, as well as where you can go to counter snipe them, just in case you've been on the receiving end of these Shooterborn kills pretty frequently in the last few raids. Now my goal with these videos is twofold. One, give you a little bit more map knowledge you may have, which will help you accomplish this task, and 2, increase your survival rating on these 4 maps, get you out with more loot in the long run, to help you avoid or counter snipe other people aside from you who are trying to get this task done. The first map we're going to hit is Woods, so stick around and see my favorite sniping locations on Woods. Okay, now on Woods we are going to go to the 3, maybe 4 main spots where players congregate. First we're going to hit up the Sawmill, then we're going to go to the U-Set camp, then we're going to go to in and around the area surrounding the FOB, the Medical Forward Operating Base. Those are places that you can oftentimes find players running to, from, in and out of, which are good places to get these Shooterborn kills. We are also going to do an honorable mention towards Sniper Rock, but we'll also kind of count that towards Sawmill, because from Sawmill, or shooting into Sawmill, is a good spot to do it from Sniper Rock. Okay, the first place we're going to look at is overlooking Sawmill, right next to the red buildings. This is right off of the pier and the shoreline. And I really like this spot for Shooterborn kills, because not only do you have a full view of the lower half of the Sawmill, you can also sometimes get a cheeky spot on Sturman, and anybody that is up in the Sniper Rock area, you can kill them too. So not only is this a good spot for its own Shooterborn areas, it's also what I would consider one of the counter sniping spots for the people who are sitting on Sniper Rock. And on top of that, I also feel like this is one of the most secure spots, because yes, people know about it, but you are covered from this side from the people that are shooting over from like where the FOB's at. So you only have your front to cover, and you will hear anybody coming from behind you, because they're going to have to take the same path to get up here that you did. And if we move down here, you can shoot across the way, and I apologize for the fog. I just didn't get very lucky with the weather today. You can shoot across here to the people that are trying to get their blood sample for the therapist task. And also, even in this weather, a lot of times over there you can see the glowing eyes of the people that are in the fog on the far side. And again, you're protected from anybody coming from the Sawmill area, but your back is exposed this way. Now we'll move on to the next spot. All right, here's the next spot. As you can see, that is the rock we were just at. So we just moved along the beach line, came up here, and came up and sat in this bush. It's very hard to see us from the back. As long as you don't rotate too much, you're not going to make much sound that comes from the foliage itself. And you have full vision over this entire area, including red buildings that are in Sawmill. I consider this kind of like a hybrid between Sawmill and the FOB areas, because it's literally right between the two. So you can either get there from spawning on ZB16 side, or from the side we spawned on, which is over by ZB14 and Scab House. So again, this counts as the counter sniping spot for the rock we were just on, and vice versa, but it also opens up full areas that you can see for Shooterborn kills from this spot specifically. We find ourselves on the rock so very eloquently known as Dickhead Rock. As you can see from here, we have clear sight lines, even on this relatively foggy day, all the way to the other side of the Sawmill. All the way down by the hut where the Violet Key car spawns, or one of the 2 spots on this map. Now we don't have very good sight line into the gray building where Sturman spawns behind, but A lot of times his guards will spawn up in front of these wood piles, so you have a chance that you can pop them if they're down there. This is a pretty good spot, but you have to be very careful because it is pretty heavily policed. It's not too hard for somebody to be sitting over here in a bush that you probably aren't paying attention to look on a dickhead, because there are a lot of spots that you have to look while you're up here, but only one spot they have to look. Now, the good thing about this spot is you're going to hear people jumping up on you, and if you need to, you can jump up here, run, jump, you go prone, and look down this way. And you have probably 100-meter sight lines on this side as well, but your back is still exposed. So this is a very dangerous spot to be, but I can't really do a video on Shooterborn in Heaven spots without mentioning Dickhead Rock. Now, the next spot we're going to look is actually overlooking the USET camp. All right, this spot is right next to the little valley that comes up right from the USET camp, and as you can see, it has a very good sight line, which is over 100 meters towards USET camp. You can see the far camp and the close camp. Far camp, you don't have a very big sight line, but as they run from the far camp to the close camp, you will see them able to run up there, hopefully get a good shot on them, and if not, you can get them as they're leaving. Now, 100 meters will about end as they get to this rock, so if you're lucky, it will run down that way and keep your 100-meter sight line. If not, maybe you can pick up a clean kill even if it's not Shooterborn. To me, this is a pretty good spot to sit. A lot of people don't expect to see anybody here, because if you are running to the USET camp and you're there that early in the raid from the spawn at the USET camp, you are not going to expect somebody to be here this early in the raid. You have an opportunity to really ruin somebody's day by killing them 3 minutes into the raid. Dick move, yeah, but tasking comes first. Now, this spot is one of my favorite spots to camp and work for Shooterborn in Heaven, as well as a few other tasks that you have to kill people on woods or with a bolt action. Either way, this spot's one of my favorite spots to go if I'm PMC hunting, because you have a long sight line over this entire valley. You've got people that are going to be running towards the med fob from the spawn over here, or on their way to extract over on this side. A big spot people go are up here. You have a clear sight line straight to there. You're not able to be seen from this side. Very, very hard to be seen from this side. And you have basically free reign over this entire valley. I love this spot. The only downside to it is if you hear people running on your right, unless they run into the valley here, you're going to make a lot of noise to get a sight line on them. And by the time you get through the bush with the new mechanic where you're not running through bushes at full speed anymore, they're going to be gone and disappeared into the foliage over there before you get a shot on them. But as long as you're patient, you're almost... I'm hesitant to say this, but it's almost a guarantee you're going to at least see PMCs, whether or not you get a kill. Depends on your aim and other circumstances. Now, from here, which is all the way next to the RUAF roadblock extract here on Woods, you can see a long way. You see all the way down from people that are running from the other spawn point. It's on the opposite side of the map here, down towards the medical fob. You can see all the way down. You can't quite see the bush that I was looking at, but it's actually right on the other side of these trees. If the trees weren't there, you can see that even. You can even see all the way down towards people that are sitting up here looking down into the sawmill. I know it's a little bit hard to see because it's foggy. That fog's not always there. Again, I'm just getting unlucky with the weather. At least the sun came out on here, so it's a little bit easier to see than it was at the beginning of the video. Now, when the sun's not there, you can even see all the way down to that very first rock we were looking at, which is actually right there. So this is an awesome spot to be, but just as easily as you can see all of that can see you. So you have to be careful being up here, as long as you're very choosy with your shots. You know, take a shot if you miss, relocate, because you can go down here and lay on that hill, move a little bit further over, duck down behind this rock, peek out, and still get a lot of the same sight lines while moving back and forth. So maybe you can throw the people off if you're missing your shots. If you're hitting your shots, then, well, I guess that's the whole goal. I really do love this spot. This and the last spot are my two favorites on the map. Now, this was by no means an exhaustive list of every place you can possibly go to get sight lines that are over 100 meters to get these headshots on woods. But they are some of the most popular, which whether you want to utilize those to get the kills yourself or sit a distance away from them to try to get the people who are using those spots, there's information that can be gleaned from this video. I hope that you guys take something from it. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up, feel free to subscribe, share it with people who are also on this task and seem to be struggling with it. And if you have any questions that maybe weren't answered in this video, feel free to hop in the live stream. I do stream Tarkov 3 to 4 times a week, and the link for that will be down below. With that out of the way, I will see you in the next one.